Fine. बुकलेट है सबके पास? मिल गई? सी टुडे that is parliament committees. Parliamentary कहाँ? Parliamentary committees. See, first of all, we will see why parliamentary committees are required. See, what is the main function of parliament? Law making is the main function of the parliament, no? See, politicians in any country, they are not expertise in any matter, isn't it? There are very few politicians who have expertise in any matter, and especially when it's come to technology or any complicated matter like science and tech, environment policy. So they failed to understand the nitty-gritty of these things. And especially after the globalization, the work of parliament has increased. In case of India also, there are many number of ministries, many number of departments which a ministers have to handle also. So the problem is that parliamentarians are member of parliaments. They are neither the expert of any field, most of the parliament members, neither they have the ample amount of time to think about the nitty-gritty of the lawmaking, especially when it comes to science, environment, defense technology. So they designate these matters to the committees, and these committees are an essential part of the parliamentary functions. And see, one more thing is that in parliament, whatever is going on, we can see that on the TV, na? So they have to maintain the decorum in the parliament also. We can see all the activities that is going on in the parliament in our TV, on the Sansad TV. But the meeting of these parliamentary committees held behind the camera, held behind the door. And this involve political parties, other political parties member also. Any parliamentary committee will have the political members and leaders of opposition parties also. And they don't have any kind of fear that public must be watching, so they have to maintain something parliamentary in those meetings, so they can discuss easily everything, because we don't know what is going on in the parliamentary committee meeting. Clear? So these parliamentary committees are very important, and there are few financial committees which are related to the finance. For example, public account committee. Okay. And there are 22 members in public account committee, 15 members from the Lok Sabha and 7 members from the Raj Sabha, and they are elected for a period of 1 year. And see, in that committee, any minister cannot become a member in parliamentary committee, especially in public account committee. So there is also no fear of ministers. And a speaker will appoint the chairman of the committee, and that committee is for 1 year. Means next in the next year there will be other members. So all the members from all the political party will get representation in the committee. So there will be a good discussion and debate on the topics which cannot be done in the detail in the parliament. So I hope I have made myself very clear about why do we need parliamentary committees. Clear? So write down, parliamentary committee are very important institution of Indian parliament. Parliamentary committee are important institution of Indian parliament. Without which parliament cannot function properly. Without which parliament cannot function properly. Next, these days the work of parliament become very complex in nature. Become very complex in nature and also considerable in volume. Also considerable in volume. Ministers are generally busy in their day to day. Ministers generally are busy in their day to day work. Therefore, they cannot consider all the matters in detail. Therefore, they cannot consider all the matter in detail. So, a major part of the business is transacted to various committee of the house. Is transacted to various committee of the house known as parliamentary committee. Known as parliamentary committee. Next, advantage of parliamentary committee. Advantage of parliamentary committee. First, they make work of parliament very smooth. They save the time of parliament. They save the time of parliament. They make the work of parliament very smooth. They make the They save the time of the parliament. Next, They expedite the working of the parliament. Next, they exercise effective control of the government activities. They exercise effective control of the government activities. Clear? Now come to the type of parliamentary committees. There are two types. First one is standing committee, and second one is ad hoc committee. Standing committee and ad hoc committee. See, what is the meaning of ad hoc? They exercise effective control on the parliament. On the government activities लिख सकते हो. Clear? There are two types, standing committee and ad hoc committee. What is the meaning of ad hoc? Huh? Yes, temporary, something which is not permanent. Na? So ad hoc committee are appointed for a specific purpose only. And once that purpose solved, this committee cease to operate. Ad hoc committees are appointed for a specific purpose only. And once the purpose is achieved, they cease to exist. Once the purpose is achieved, they cease to exist. For example, joint committee on bills. Joint committee on bills. You might have heard about the joint committee, joint parliamentary committee. So that is an ad hoc committee, and they are created for a specific purpose. जैसे 2G पे कभी क्रिएट कर दिया पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी, या किसी और टॉपिक पे, या किसी और टास्क के लिए. Clear? Next, second one is standing committee. Standing committee are the permanent and regular committees. Standing committees are permanent and regular committee. And they are created from time to time. They are created from time to time by chairman of Rajya Sabha or speaker of Lok Sabha. By chairman of Rajya Sabha or speaker of Lok Sabha. Clear? So you get the difference between the standing and ad hoc committee, na? See, this is also very important for those students who have public administration as their optional subject, or the PSIR. In both the cases, you have to study all these things in detail. Clear? And in your GS paper 2, you have syllabus with you, na? Huh? There is a topic, I think, accountability and control. See? Yeah. Accountability and control. There is a topic in your GS paper 2. So parliamentary committees are also a tool to exercise the control. Na? I have dictated the fourth point. See your syllabus, isn't it? So you have to study this thing in detail, how they are exercising control. है ना? Yes, transparency and accountability in your syllabus. So its parliamentary committees are also an instrument to ensure the transparency, accountability and control of the parliament or of the administration. They exercise control through these committees. For example, I am giving you an example. Public Account Committee. They control the appropriation of the government because they will examine the CAG report. You have to write the examples also. For example, how they are exercising control. I have dictated the fourth point. Na? Who have asked that? What is the 4 point, sir? You. So what is the 4 point? Fourth point. Effective control over the exercise of the government, over the activities of the government. So how they are exercising this that control? See, there is one parliamentary committee known as Public Account Committee. This is the parliamentary committee. So what Public Account Committee, a committee on public account, what they does? They examine the report of CAG. Means they are examining the appropriation of the government, na? Expenditure of the government, isn't it? So they are exercising control, na? Then also there is another committee, that is estimate committee. See, you will have to learn how to use your knowledge. Estimate committee is related with the estimate of budget. Isn't it a tool of instrument to control the budget of the government? No? They will examine the estimate of the budget. And then another committee is Committee on Public Undertaking. Committee on Public Undertaking. So what they do? They generally examine the PSUs, public sector undertaking. Public sector undertaking मतलब government company. They will examine the report of PSUs, whether PSUs are performing efficiently or not. So through this financial committee, parliamentary committee is exercising control over government, na? So that's what you have to write in your answer also. Is that clear to all? How they are exercising control? Through the various committees, financial committees. Clear? So now we will study few committees which are very important in detail, because generally UPSC and state PSC will ask a question in the mains regarding those committees. Okay. And then we will see the few not so important committee with very few details. I won't go in the detail of all the committees, but some committees you will have to study in the detail. See, so first of all, draw a diagram like this. Financial committees. Okay. And financial committees are three types. Financial committees are three types. First one is the Committee on Public Account. Committee on Public Account. And second one is Estimate Committee. Estimate Committee. And third one is Committee on Public Undertakings. These are called as financial committees. Committee on Public Undertaking. So there are three committees. Committees on Public Account, Committee on Estimate, Estimate Committee, and Committee on Public Undertaking. So you will have to study these three committees in very detail. Clear? And the remaining committee we will not go into much detail. So first come to the Committee on Public Account. That is very important. And abhi UPPSC has asked a question in the prelims. So these three committees are very important. First come to the committee on public account. Clear? See, I am going to tell you few details which is important for all these three committees. Clear? First, you have to learn the member. So there are 15 member from Lok Sabha and 7 member from Rajya Sabha. And when they ask, read the question very carefully. They will ask you how many members are there in committee on public account from the Lok Sabha. तो लोक सभा से कितने हैं और राज्यसभा से 7 and total 22, and they will give you the first option 22. They will ask you question कि how many members are there in committee on public account from Lok Sabha, and they will give you first option 22. तो क्या मारोगे तुम? 22 तो नहीं मारोगे. क्लियर? क्वेश्चन केयरफुली पढ़ोगे. हाँ हाँ, टोटल 22 है. अब जनरली पीपल यूज टू रिमेंबर दैट देयर आर 22 मेंबर इन कमिटी ऑन पब्लिक अकाउंट, बट अभी रिसेंटली इन उत्तराखंड पीसीएस एग्जाम they have asked the question that how many members are there in the committee on public account from Lok Sabha. They were asking about the Lok Sabha, so answer must be 15, but they have given the first option 22, and people in hurry generally take the 22 and move on. And when they came out from the exam hall, they thought that I have done this question correctly, but they did not read the question correctly. They thought that it is asking about the total membership, and under pressure you will also read like that. So be careful while reading the questions. देखो आता हुआ क्वेश्चन गलत कर दोगे कि नहीं, है ना? सो ऐसे अलर्ट रहना है तुम्हें. क्लियर? तो members are 15 member from Lok Sabha and 7 member from Rajya Sabha, and total members are 22, and members are elected for 1 year period. Clear? Elected for 1 year period. Clear? And chairman of committee. See, members are elected, not nominated. Clear? And chairman of the committee. Chairman of committee is appointed by the speaker. Chairman is appointed. You will have to be very careful while reading the option. They will give you the option that committee on public account. Members of committee on public account are appointed for 1 year. सही है? No, because they are elected, not appointed. Whereas chairman is appointed by the speaker. Chairman is appointed by speaker of Lok Sabha. Clear? So be very careful. Members are elected by the member of Lok Sabha for how many years? 5 years or 1 year? 1 year. And chairman of the committee will be appointed or elected? Appointed by whom? By president? By Lok Sabha speaker. And one more important thing, ministers cannot become member of the committee on public account. Clear? So learn these facts. These are very important. Ministers cannot be a member. Clear? Ministers cannot be member of public account committee. Is that clear? And suppose that if any MP has been elected in the Committee on Public Account, and then later government had appointed him as minister, then what will happen? He must resign from the membership of Committee on Public Account. Clear? So a minister is not eligible to become a member of Committee on Public Account. And if any MP has become a member in Committee on Public Account and later appointed as minister by the government, then he must vacate his membership in Committee on Public Account. Is that clear? Any doubt? No. कोई डाउट हो इतने पॉइंट्स में तो बताओ. These points are very important and generally they will ask question from these points. No doubt. So come to the next. What is the function or purpose of the Public Account Committee? A Committee on Public Account. See, I have told you the main function of Committee on Public Account is to examine the CAG report. Na? This question has been asked by the UPPCS in the recent prelims exam. They examine the report of CAG. CAG is in which article? What is CAG? CAG means Controller and Auditor General. If you are not aware about this term, write down in your notes. CAG means Controller and Auditor General, and this is the provision of CAG is given in Article 148. Clear? Article 148. And Attorney General? Attorney General of India in which article? Tell me. Yes, याद है. 76. Clear? Finance Commission? Finance Commission under which article? 280. I have told that in the class also. You will have to learn these important articles, yaar. 111 Assent of Bill, 112 Annual Financial Statement. See, learn these articles, यार. देखो, Article 110 it define money bill. फिर से लिखो, लिख लिख के याद करो. ठीक है? Article 111 Assent to Bill. कल बताया शायद, कल या परसों. Assent to Bill. हाँ, सब नहीं लर्न करने बेटा. टोटल 395. But you don't have to learn all the articles. But these are very important articles which you are supposed to learn. And once you will finish your polity and revise it multiple times, these articles will automatically be fitted in your mind. You don't have to put extra effort for that. Just revise and revise again and again. And Article 112 Annual Financial Statement. Article 112 is Annual Financial Statement. Clear? Huh? An Election Commission. Three to 4. Clear? And UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, 315. टफ लग रहा है क्या? ये इतने सारे एग्जाम में पहले पूछे जा चुके हैं और यही रिपीट कर करके पूछते हैं. Clear? And yesterday I think I have discussed about casting vote. Hmm? What is casting vote? I have discussed na, about casting vote. When there is a tie in the house, then the presiding officer will have the casting vote. Clear? So the casting vote of speaker is given in which article? I have told that yesterday, I think. It is in article 100. Clear? It seems to me that you guys are not revising properly. Am I right? Hmm? See, multiple revision is the key to success because this exam requires multiple revision. अदरवाइज तुमको पढ़ा पढ़ा सब लगेगा बट यू वोंट बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई द करेक्ट आंसर तो लगेगा अरे हाँ यार ये तो पढ़ा है कहीं पे क्लियर सो start learning the articles and I have asked you to learn the articles from 1 to 51 51a. How many of you have learned all the fundamental duties? No one. Hmm? No, you have to learn all the fundamental duties, no? Fundamental duties, directive principle of state policies, and fundamental rights. You are supposed to learn all these articles. At least fundamental rights, DPSP, and fundamental duties. And then important article related to the president, not all the articles. President, vice president, speaker, deputy speaker, parliament. Not all the articles are required. And I hope you guys will do that. Huh? Otherwise, you will regret so much. Clear? Now come to the what is the main function of the Committee on Public Account? Examine the report of the CAG. So what does actually it do? It is examining the appropriation of the government, expenditure of the government. Whether government has done expenditure in the required line or not. Whether there is propriety in the expenditure or not. Clear? Huh? Now come to the next estimate committee. Estimate committee. See, whatever points I have told for the committee on public account, all those points are true for the estimate committee also, except here, here members are 30 and all from Lok Sabha, all from Lok Sabha. That's the difference. While other features are same. Clear? There are 30 members in the estimate committee and all the members are from the Lok Sabha only. Clear? And remaining features are same. What are the remaining features? They are appointed. Members are appointed or elected. Elected by the members. And chairman will be nominated by Lok Sabha Speaker. What will be their tenure? 1 year. Ministers will be eligible for the membership or not? No. So all these features are true for this also. So I am not going to dictate that again. Clear? Huh? कोई doubt? But you have to learn the difference. There are 30 members. and all the members are from Lok Sabha. And why all the members are from Lok Sabha? Because they are working for the estimate, and suggest the alternative policies. क्लियर? जो हमारा एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट होता है, जनरली बजट जिसको बोलते हैं, एनुअल फाइनेंशियल एस्टीमेट, clear, that is also called as budget. They estimate the annual statement, and budget is introduced only in, sorry, budget is like a money bill, and that can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha, ना? Doubt है? Money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. I have told that, ना? So what is the requirement of members from the Rajya Sabha? No requirement. That's why all the members of estimate committee are from the Lok Sabha. Is that clear or any doubt? There are very few committee in which all the members are from Lok Sabha, and that is very important. Clear? And then estimate committee will also examine the economy and efficiency. Economy and efficiency. Economy and efficiency of the government, the government's organization or the department of the government. Clear? Means committee on public account that will scrutinize the appropriation, na? Expenditure. Committee on public account is scrutinizing the expenditure, na? Expenditure by the government. And what they are doing? They are scrutinizing the estimate. है ना? जैसे तुम लोग एस्टिमेट बना के देते हो ना घर पे कि पापा 10 महीने लगेंगे, 10,000 लगेंगे एक महीने के, हाँ, देन पापा उसको स्क्रूटनाइज करते हैं कि 10 लगेगा कि कितना लगेगा. सो ये काम एस्टिमेट कमेटी करती है. एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में क्या क्या तुमने एस्टिमेट बना के दिया, दे विल स्क्रूटनाइज दैट. ठीक है, फिर पापा तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन होगा तब तो हिसाब नहीं लेंगे, नहीं होगा दिन लाइफ टाइम दे विल आस्क क्या किया था उन पैसों का, कहाँ कहाँ पे खर्च किया था, एक्सपेंडिचर या एप्रोप्रिएशन. सो दैट इज डन बाय द कमिटी ऑन पब्लिक अकाउंट. अब तो समझ आ गया होगा, हाँ, डिफरेंस क्या है दोनों में. सी दैट हैज बीन आल्सो गिवन इन द बुकलेट. रीड द फर्स्ट पैरा ऑफ एस्टिमेट कमिटी. First para of the estimate committee. Read that again. दिया है ना वही चीज. Then now come to the next committee. Clear? Any doubt? I am moving to next committee. Na? Next is committee on public undertaking. Committee on public undertaking. Clear? See, all the features which I have told about the committee on public account, that's true for the committee on public undertaking. All the features. including members. Members in, there are 22 members. Clear? 15 from Lok Sabha and 7 from Rajya Sabha. All the features are same. What does it means? Members will be eligible for this committee or not? No. Members will be appointed or elected. Elected. And who will elect the members? Members of the Lok Sabha. Also remember that point. The members of Lok Sabha will elect the members from the Lok Sabha and members of Rajya Sabha from the Rajya Sabha. Clear? इसमें कोई confusion या doubt नहीं होना चाहिए. Clear? And what would be the term of office? 1 year or 5 year? 1 year. Clear? And who will appoint the chairman? Lok Sabha speaker. So all the features are true. Clear? And their main work, या main function is to check whether the public sector undertakings, means government companies, are working efficiently, are working in economical way or not, whether they are giving profit or whether they are in the loss. Clear? So they will examine the autonomy, efficiency of the public undertakings. Do you know the meaning of public undertaking? Public undertaking means any government company, whether it's owned by the state government or the private central government. So there are many companies, na? For example, NTPC. This is public sector company. You might have heard the name. ONGC, SAIL, GAIL. These are the public sector undertakings. So it is the duty of committee on the public account, committee on public undertaking, to examine the efficiency and effectiveness, to examine the autonomy or independence of these public sector undertakings. So by this way, they are exercising control on the government. Are you getting my point? How they are exercising control on the government? Then you have to write all these things in your answer. Clear? But there are few criticism also. Write down the criticism. ठीक है? They are post-mortem in nature, isn't it? हाँ, सब कुछ हो गया, फिर उसके बाद देख रहे हो सारा एक्सपेंडिचर खत्म. Now you are checking for the propriety. Same is case with the committee on public undertaking. To write down this thing. Clear? The committee on public undertaking and committee on public account. Their work is like post-mortem in nature. Clear? And also, they cannot interfere in day-to-day activities, ना? उनका तो day-to-day activities चल ही रहा होता है. Clear? Now come to the next committee. This committee is not financial committee. There are only 3 financial committee. We are moving to next committee. Business Advisory Committee. That is also very important committee. So we have to study about it in detail. Business Advisory Committee. See, the name is also suggesting the function of the committee, Business Advisory Committee. And here in polity lectures, when I say business, it is business of the parliament, it is work of the parliament. ठीक है, ये पापा वाला बिजनेस मत समझ लेना, ठीक है, कि पापा के बिजनेस को एडवाइस करेंगे. दे आर एडवाइजिंग clear. When I say about the business, then you need to add in your mind that it is the business of parliament, पापा वाला बिजनेस नहीं. तो बिजनेस एडवाइजरी कमेटी मीन्स they will advise this committee, a member of committee will advise see business advisory committee this committee is constituted for every new Lok Sabha, for every new Lok Sabha, when's the commencement of the new Lok Sabha. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे अभी इलेक्शन होगा ना फिर 2024 का, तो फिर ये जो बिजनेस एडवाइजरी कमेटी है ये खत्म हो जाएगी, एक नई बिजनेस एडवाइजरी कमेटी बनेगी. ठीक है, दे आर कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड फॉर न्यू लोकसभा. और एक कंडीशन और है, वेन एवर रिक्वायर्ड फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम, whenever required from time to time under the provision of rule of Lok Sabha. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है जानना, अंडर द प्रोविजन ऑफ रूल ऑफ लोकसभा. वहां पर राज्यसभा करके दे देगा या पार्लियामेंट करके. सो बिजनेस एडवाइजरी कमेटी इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड आफ्टर न्यू लोकसभा और फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम whenever required under the rule of Lok Sabha. So remember this point, under the rule of Lok Sabha. And by this statement you can clearly identify that there is no term of office. पहले हमने देखा ना कि सबका टर्म ऑफ ऑफिस कितना है, 1 year है. And if they will give you option that business advisory committee have term of office of 1 year, is it true? No, because they are constituted from time to time and after the commencement of new Lok Sabha. So there is no specific term of its office. Clear? ये क्लियर है कि इसमें कोई डाउट है? बाकी तीनों कमेटीज में हम लोग देखते हुए आ रहे थे, तो वो माइंड में वही रहता है, लोग गेस मार के निकल लेते हैं. और इनका मेन काम क्या होता है? टू असिस्ट द पार्लियामेंट टू ट्रांजैक्ट इट्स बिजनेस, टू असिस्ट द पार्लियामेंट टू ट्रांजैक्ट इट्स बिजनेस. क्लियर? अब देखो, हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द स्मूथ एंड एफिशिएंट ट्रांजैक्शन ऑफ बिजनेस इन द पार्लियामेंट? इट इज द स्पीकर ऑफ लोकसभा ना. दैट्स व्हाई स्पीकर इटसेल्फ इज चेयरमैन ऑफ दिस कमिटी. Speaker is chairman of this committee. Remember this. And why speaker is chairman? because he is responsible for the transaction of business in the house. So he, with the help of leader of opposition, will conduct the business of the house. Clear? Now come to the next point. That is committee and petition. See, till now we have been saying that members are elected or nominated or appointed. Members are elected in the committees, but in this committee on petitions, member will be nominated. That's why I was emphasizing. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है अब? Why I was emphasizing on the nominated, appointed, elected. So in committee on petition, members are nominated by the speaker. Nominated by the speaker, and there are 15 members. Also in business advisory committee also write that there are 15 members. 15 members in business advisory committee. And who is the chairman of business advisory committee? Speaker. बाकी और committees में क्या हो रहा है? Speaker is appointing the chairman, and in the committee of petition, speaker is nominating the members. Members are not elected, unlike other committees. Here speaker will nominate 15 members. Clear? And also in this committee, minister cannot be nominated as member. So write down this: minister cannot be nominated. I have told that in the class, ministers are generally, except one committee, ministers are generally not the members or the chairman of the parliamentary committees. And generally, except few two committees, speaker will appoint the chairman of all the committees. Here in this committee also, chairman will be appointed by the speaker from amongst its member. जो मेंबर है उन्हीं में से कोई चेयरमैन बन जाएगा, सॉरी प्रेसिडेंट हो जाएगा कमेटी का. अब एज द नेम सजेस्ट कमेटी एंड पिटिशन, तो इसका क्या काम होगा? टू एग्जामिन एनी पिटिशन रेफर टू दिस कमेटी. कोई भी पिटिशन अगर इस कमेटी को रिफर किया जाएगा, दे विल एग्जामिन दैट. क्लियर? सी दीज आर वेरी फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन आल्सो. एनालिटिकल वाला पार्ट जो था, आई हैव डिस्कस दैट, but you have to study all these things because they are important for your prelims. Mains mein they will ask you the question which I have explained in the class. Means how they are exercising control. See, yesterday I told about parliamentary privileges. Parliamentary privileges in yesterday's class. Can anyone tell me a few points regarding it? Freedom of speech, very good. Freedom from arrest, cannot be forced as a witness. These are the few parliamentary privileges which I have discussed in the class yesterday. Okay? And everything is not given in booklet. So while I am dictating anything or explaining, try to write in your answer in your notes. ठीक है? हर चीज बुकलेट में नहीं है ना, कुछ मेरे दिमाग में भी है. So if you will not making a notes of whatever I am teaching in the class, so you won't find everything in the booklet, na. Booklet is to assist you in your revision. अब उसके चक्कर में बैठ के ही नहीं कि वॉट एवर आई एम टीचिंग इन क्लास है उसको लिखो ही नहीं या पढ़ो ही नहीं कि अरे बाद में बुकलेट में पढ़ लेंगे। ठीक है, एवरीथिंग कैन नॉट बी गिवन इन द बुकलेट ना। हाँ, तो इस माइंडसेट से बाहर निकलो कि आई हैव बुकलेट तो हम क्लास भी मिस करेंगे। क्लियर? सो कम टू द नेक्स्ट कमिटी, दैट इज कमिटी ऑफ प्रिविलेजेस। अब सी, I have told about the parliamentary privileges. So this committee will examine whether there is violation of privileges or not. See how things are interrelated. This committee will examine whether the privileges available to the member of the parliament are violated or not. They will examine about the privileges and recommend the appropriate action if they found that the privileges is violated. And again, this committee have 15 members. 15 members, and they are nominated. Nominated by whom? By speaker. So we'll have to learn, ठीक है, कि where they are nominated, where they are appointed, ठीक है, where they are elected. Clear? And who will appoint the chairman? Again, see, either speaker will be the chairman himself, he will be ex officio chairman, or he will appoint the chairman. प्रेसिडेंट तो दिमाग में लाओ ही नहीं, बहुत से बच्चे प्रेसिडेंट टिक कर देते हैं। क्लियर है ना? ये कमेटी क्लियर है? नेक्स्ट आओ, कमेटी ऑन सबऑर्डिनेट लेजिस्लेशन। See, now all the committees are not important, but for the sake of exam, you have to study all these things. Committee on subordinate legislation. Subordinate legislation. See, first try to understand what is subordinate legislation. ठीक है? First try to understand what is subordinate legislation. This is also known as delegated legislation. Delegated legislation. Clear? Do you know the meaning of subordinate? Someone who is junior to you, that is subordinate. Clear? And what is the meaning of legislation? Law making. Clear na? Law making legislation is done by the legislature. Clear? No doubt na? And if I am saying subordinate legislation, means someone who is subordinate to legislation will be making the law. Or when I say delegated legislation, means legislation power will be delegated to someone else. Delegation means giving your power to someone else. And delegated legislation means giving your power to legislate, giving your power of law making to someone else. Clear? So in this case, see, legislature या legislative will delegate. Delegate means transfer power of legislation. Power of legislation means law making power to executive or to subordinate. That is delegated legislation or subordinate legislation. Clear? You got my point? Huh? Subordinate legislation means legislation done by your subordinate. Means or delegated legislation means you are delegating your law making power to someone else who is subordinate to you. Means to executive. So that is the subordinate legislation or delegated legislation. Clear? And here by executive we means bureaucracy. Clear? Clear? Any doubt? Who is here subordinate or executive? Bureaucracy. And what is the main function of bureaucracy? To implement the law. Main function of bureaucracy is to implement the law. Write down all these things in your notes. This is a topic in your optional also in public administration or PSIR. You'll have to study this in detail. Clear? Are you getting my point? So, and I have also told about separation of power. Isn't it? What is separation of power? Means legislature have the power to legislate law. Executive have power to implement law. But here, executive is also making law, na? So it is against the separation of power. That's why it is being criticized. Clear? And that's why there is a committee on subordinate legislation to examine whether executive or bureaucracy is making law is in accordance with the constitution or not. And if they found that ki, the law made by the bureaucracy or the law made by the subordinate legislation is not according to the law, according to the constitution, then they will recommend to declare these laws as null to void. क्लियर ना? पूरा कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया? हाँ, समझ में आ रहा है? इस कमेटी का मेन फंक्शन क्या है? टू एग्जामिन द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन मेड बाय द एग्जीक्यूटिव कि वेदर दीज रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस आर अकॉर्डिंग टू पार्लियामेंट और नॉट. क्लियर ना? बिकॉज पॉसिबल क्या है, जब ब्यूरोक्रेसी को लॉ मेकिंग पावर मिल जाएगी तो देयर विल बी अ डिक्टेटरशिप ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी ना, isn't it? There will be despotism among the bureaucracy. So they might abuse or misuse this power for their welfare maximization, for their self-aggrandizement. Clear? Now come to the next committee, Committee on Government Assurance. ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर है? ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बेटा ये. हाँ, कोई डाउट हो तो अभी पूछ लो. कि क्या क्या होता है सर? Because legislature do not have the time and they do not have the required skill and expertise. They can make the policy on science, but they cannot go in the detail of the science, na? Suppose there is a policy on biotechnology, so legislature cannot go in the nitty and gritty of biotechnology, na? They do not have that kind of expertise. So what will they do? They will delegate this power to their subordinate. सपोज डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजी पे कोई लॉ बनाना है तो कितने मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हैं जो लॉ बना पाएंगे उसपे? हाँ, so they just form the skeleton and flesh is filled by the bureaucracy, that is executive. So this filling of flesh in the skeleton is known as delegated legislation. Clear? एक क्वेश्चन भी ऐसे आया था कि delegated legislation is like filling of flesh in the skeleton. तो कुछ बच्चे समझ ही नहीं पा रहे थे कि हो क्या रहा है. So it is like, na, see, legislature have created the skeleton. Now it is the work of bureaucracy or their subordinate to fill the flesh. Means they will give you the border that this is the policy, our policy. We want to do this. Now they will delegate their power to the bureaucracy and the executive, and they will go in the nitty and gritty of that law or policy. They will fill all the necessary details, all the conditions, which is the work of the legislature. But due to the lack of time, due to the lack of expertise, ठीक है, due to the modern challenges or to see the unforeseen situation or contingency problems, they are not able to legislate on those matters. That's why they have to legislate. Even in country like Britain and USA, you might be amazed to know they have the strict power of separation. Still, they are using the delegated legislation. In India, we do not have the watertight separation. Here, executive is part of legislature, but in Britain and USA, they have watertight separation between legislature and executive. Still, those countries are following delegated legislation. So you can see the emerging importance of delegated legislation. Clear? Huh? Now come to the next committee, Committee on Government Assurance. Committee on Government Assurance. See, the term define itself. Government assurance means they will examine whatever assurance government has given, whether they are fulfilling that assurance or not. They will scrutinize the assurance given by the government, promises given by the government. और ये सब इन द हाउस, बाहर नहीं, बाहर तो वो जुमला है, वो चुनावी जुमला था 15 लाख वाला. बट इन द हाउस, देखो हाउस में वो लोग ये सब चीजें नहीं बोल सकते, बिकॉज ये कमेटी है, कमेटी ऑन गवर्नमेंट एश्योरेंस. तो कोई मिनिस्टर वाट एवर ही हैज प्रॉमिस ऑन द फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस, फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस मतलब कि जो हाउस है वो फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस, तुम लोग पार्टी वाला मत समझने लगो. कम ऑन एंड गेट डांस ऑन द फ्लोर. हियर द फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस मींस इन द लोक सभा. वॉट एवर गवर्नमेंट और मिनिस्टर हैज प्रॉमिस्ड विल बी स्क्रूटनाइज्ड बाय द कमिटी ऑन गवर्नमेंट एश्योरेंस. क्लियर? Now come to the next committee, that is Committee on Absence of Member from the sitting of the House. I think in yesterday's lecture or day after yesterday, I have told that कि if any member of the parliament is absent from the session of the parliament for the 60 days without getting permission, then he will be disqualified to be a member of the house. Clear? So this committee will examine the application of leaves of the member. Clear? This committee will examine whether any member is absent or not for more than 60 days without permission. And if any member is absent for more than 60 days without permission, he will be disqualified to be a member of the parliament. Clear? Now are you getting my point कि why these parliamentary committees have been constituted? अब ये काम कौन करेगा पार्लियामेंट में? So these committees are backbone of our parliament. That's the importance of parliamentary committees. They are assisting the parliament and saving the time of the parliament. You can see by their functions also. Now come to the next committee, that is rules committee. They will consider the matters of procedure and conduct. Regarding business of the house. Business of the house means whatever is going on in the house, in the Lok Sabha or in the Raj Sabha. So they will consider the matters of procedure and conduct of business. Whatever is going on the house and whether it is according to the rules or not, according to the rule of the parliament. Clear? Now come to the next committee, that is general purpose committee, house committee, library committee. These committees are not important. It is given in your booklet. If you want, you may read, but they have not been asked by the whether UPPSC or state PSC. But still, if you want, you can have one reading about these committees. Clear? And I would like to advise you just have one or two reading. That's enough. But till the rule committee, you have to study it in very detail and revise it multiple times. And especially those committees on the government assurance and committees on the absence of member. And especially that three committees, three financial committees. What are the three financial committees, parliamentary committees? Yes. So you have to read everything about those committees. Clear? And especially if you are optional public administration or PSIR, ठीक है, देन उस पर बहुत अच्छे से करना है तुमको. क्लियर? हाँ. See, in the last, I have given a summary of the articles which you need to learn. All these articles related to the union legislature. Go through these articles. ठीक है? You won't be able to learn this in a single day. So इसको देखते रहो. That is important. Clear? And these committees are not really important for you. See, there is a committee in the see point number 19, that is departmentally related standing committees. What is standing committee? Standing committees are permanent committees, na? So departmentally related standing committees are few permanent committees which are related to any department. Clear? So if any departmentally related standing committee is in news in your current affairs, then you have to study about that. There are almost 17. तो सारे तो पढ़ नहीं सकते हो ना, याद भी नहीं रहेगा. बट कोई बहुत ज्यादा न्यूज में आ जाए तो तुम्हें उसको पढ़ना है. ठीक है? और भी कमेटीज है, वो तुम्हें नाम से पता है, कमेटीज ऑन द एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ वीमेन. तो उसका क्या काम होगा? यू डोंट हैव टू डू PhD ऑन दीज कमेटीज. हाँ, एक कमेटी और कमेटी ऑन द वेलफेयर ऑफ शेड्यूल कास्ट एंड शेड्यूल ट्राइब. तो इसमें 30 मेंबर्स होते हैं, ये तुम्हें याद रखना है, क्योंकि 30 मेंबर्स बहुत कम कमेटीज में है. क्लियर? सो ये क्वेश्चन भी पूछा गया है, कमेटी ऑन द वेलफेयर ऑफ शेड्यूल कास्ट एंड शेड्यूल ट्राइब्स में 30 मेंबर्स हैं। क्लियर? अब सी फ्रॉम टुमारो वी विल बी स्टार्टिंग अबाउट द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, ठीक है, आर यूनियन, you can say about union. So here we will be studying about the first president, then vice president, then PM. Clear? इतनी चीज हमें पढ़नी है, and after that we will move to the judiciary, and here we will study about Supreme Court, and once the central government will be finished we will move to the state government, our state, and here we will have to study about governor, ठीक है, चीफ मिनिस्टर एंड हाई कोर्ट। सो इतनी चीजें हम लोग को अभी और फिनिश करनी है जल्दी से, और तुम लोग प्रीवियस रिवाइज नहीं कर रहे हो। ठीक है, और अभी मैंने जो तुम लोग को बताया है, ठीक है, इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल्स देखो यहाँ पे भी रिलेटेड है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से, एंड इट इज इन द पार्ट 5, यूनियन इज इन द पार्ट 5 ना, तो उसमें प्रेसिडेंट एंड वाइस प्रेसिडेंट से रिलेटेड आर्टिकल है 53 टू 73। बस पूरा ऐसे पूरा एक एक डिटेल नहीं याद रखना है, बट सम टाइम दे विल आस्क यू काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स से रिलेटेड कौन कौन से आर्टिकल हैं, तो 74 टू 75। अब नाउ वी विल आल्सो स्टडी अबाउट द काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स। सी अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया इज गिवन देयर ना 76, कंट्रोलर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया आर्टिकल 148 टू 151, हाँ, यूनियन जुडिशरी 124 टू 147, and legislative power of the president. What is the meaning of legislative power of the president? Anyone? Legislative power of president means ordinance also, na? An ordinance is under which article? Ordinance is under ordinance is under 1 to 3 and joint sitting. So revise करो ना, ये सब क्यों भूल रहे हो? यही सब तो एग्जाम में आ जाएगा बेटा। क्लियर? सी ब्रांच ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट या ऑर्गन ऑफ द स्टेट करके पूछता है कि व्हाट इज द ऑर्गन ऑफ द स्टेट या ऑर्गन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट or the state. So I have told it earlier while I was teaching about the salient feature. I am going to repeat that again. So first is legislature, second is executive and third is judiciary. तो legislature का क्या वर्क है? लॉ फॉर्मुलेशन या लॉ मेकिंग, इसका क्या है? लॉ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, एंड इसका क्या है? लॉ इंटरप्रिटेशन। क्लियर? सो ये डायग्राम भी बना लो। ऑर्गन ऑफ द स्टेट, लॉ मेकिंग इज द फंक्शन ऑफ लेजिस्लेचर, लेजिस्लेचर विल एनेक्ट द लॉ ना, and they will control all the money, taxes, borrowing, etc. Clear? They will ratify the treaties. और executive का क्या काम है? To execute those laws, those treaties. ठीक है, और executive में फिर president भी आता है, तो सारे वर्क हम लोग डिटेल में देखेंगे। फिर रूल ऑफ जुडिशरी, जुडिशरी का मेन काम क्या है? टू इंटरप्रेट द लॉ, and if judiciary find that some law is violating the fundamental rights or it is violating the basic structure of the constitution, so in that case judiciary will declare that law is null and void ना, that's why it is the law interpretation, यानी जो law बना है उसको interpret कर रहे हैं। क्या interpret कर रहे हैं? कि if it is against fundamental right or not, and if it is against fundamental right they will declare it's null and void, and if it is against basic structure, बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर बताया था ना मैंने, विच केस इज रिलेटेड टू बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर? हाँ, व्हाट इज बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर? नहीं, what is the principle of basic structure? What is the doctrine of basic structure? Huh? Means parliament can amend any law of the constitution or any part of the constitution without destroying the basic structure of the constitution. And what would be the basic structure? Would be defined by the judiciary itself. It is not given in the constitution ना. जुडिशियल रिव्यू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मेंशन है? नहीं. क्लियर? तो कल से ये चीज पढ़ेंगे हम लोग. चलो, कुछ पूछना है और? नहीं, चलो.